An agreement with the Palestinians based on the two states for two people is the right thing for Israel's security, for Israel's economy, and for the future of our children. Peace is not a compromise. It is the most courageous decision we can make.
In Tel Aviv is Akiva Eldar, a political analyst and a contributor to the Haaretz newspaper. Akiva, really good to see you. Thank you so much. I know that the office of Yair Lapid had actually given some warning about what the Prime Minister was going to say regarding a two-state solution. But nonetheless, were you surprised when you heard Lapid saying it?
Well, I'm surprised that people are asking if I'm surprised because, you know, I have been in the White House South Lawn almost 30 years ago when Yitzhak Rabin shook hands with Yasser Arafat. And here we are 29 years later, and you're asking me whether I'm impressed from statements coming from two irrelevant politicians, both of them are actually speaking to their own constituency. It's like a couple that wants to get divorced, but they cannot come to terms about how they can divide the house, and are trying to convince the court that it's not them to blame. It's a blame game. You know, Lapid doesn't even have the public mandate or public support, let alone the political support, to start negotiating the two-state solution. What can he offer when he has in his current government, it is a provisional government, ministers, let alone members of Knesset, that don't even, are not even willing to think about giving away land to the Palestinians.
Okay, Akiva, so you're saying that he's speaking to his own constituents because he wants to gain votes ahead of the upcoming election. But he is consistent. He has been. Even when he was foreign minister to Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, he believed in a two-state solution. He just didn't say it so much because, of course, Bennett hugely dislikes that idea. At least Lapid is consistent. But what you're saying is that he's irrelevant. Why? Because he's not going to win the election?
Yes, because according to the last polls, Netanyahu is going to be the next prime minister. And actually what Lapid is hoping to get is maybe a few seats to grab from the Labour and Meretz, from the left, and maybe from the center parties. But even in the best case that he will be able to form a new government after the November 1st elections, I suspect that he will have a majority in the Knesset, in the coalition, to start, and I repeat it, to negotiate, to shake hands with Abu Mazen. Something that looked, you know, very natural even when Netanyahu was prime minister. Actually, to remind the viewers, in 2016, Netanyahu was talking about a two-state solution. Prime Minister Sharon was saying that you cannot perpetrate the occupation. Prime Minister Barak said it. Olmert negotiated it. So now we, you know, are dancing on the table when we have a prime minister who is saying the obvious and is not able to perform, is not able even to invite Abu Mazen to Jerusalem because you know, he will lose the elections if he does so.
Yeah, I remember 2016. I looked up for the quote when Benjamin Netanyahu was speaking there. He said, "I remain committed to a vision of peace based on two states for two peoples. I believe as never before that change is taking place in the Arab world today that offers a unique opportunity to advance that peace." Is that a Netanyahu that you don't recognize anymore?
No, Netanyahu, model 2022, is a leader who is joining forces with a racist party headed by Itamar Ben-Gvir, people who advocate the evacuation of the West Bank, who don't see any right for the Palestinians to have the right for self-determination. And Netanyahu is willing to do anything to save his neck. This is a new Netanyahu. Netanyahu, if he's re-elected, will again spend part of his time, and maybe significant part of his time, sitting in court and answering very, very difficult questions about criminal action that he has done, about misconduct, and it seems, and this is not only what I can say, it's obvious now that he is willing to say anything or do anything in order to save his own career and maybe his own freedom. So the freedom of Israel from occupation is not number one on his agenda.
Akiva Eldar, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.